itainuka, Kenya itasimama, Kenya itanawiri kwa moja na uzalendo. Mimi ni Mkenya mzalendo. Je, wewe? Mimi ni Mkenya mzalendo daima. Welcome to Sema na Spox, Bonga na Gava. Sema na Spox. We are doing it here at the Kenya Ports Authority. Umekuwa ukisikia maneno ya port nini? Leo tutakuja kujua ukweli from the horse's mouth, none other than Captain William Ruto, the one person who shares a name with the Commander-in-Chief of the Defense Forces. Tupige makofi hapa kwa sababu leo ni siku nzuri za kabisa. But before we come to him, let us know what government is doing, has done, and is planning to do. President William Ruto has already rung the bell, at the Nairobi Securities Exchange for the Kenya Pipeline Company IPO, marking start of share trading. The IPO will raise 106 billion, which through the National Infrastructure Fund, which was assented to as an act yesterday, will leverage private capital to raise, listen to this, 1.2 trillion shillings for transformative infrastructure, easing budget pressures and reducing debt. So all of the things that we are doing here at the coast, for example, the Bandari Academy project and all of us, the modernization of the port, now we have money from the national infrastructure. Also, the flagship project of the National Infrastructure Fund shall be the modernization of the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport, the expansion as a flagship project. The government will actually use 20 billion Kenya shillings from the Kenya Pipeline Company privatization as seed capital, targeting 5 trillion over 10 years. A 7-member independent board will ensure transparency and accountability to the National Treasury and Parliament. And my good people, let us not lie. If you go to countries such as Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, sasa wako mbele yetu, I was just there over the weekend. And they used to have a small airport, now they have a bigger one, they're even creating an airport city. Na sisi tunapiga tu makelele huku, tukisema hatutaki kutengeza airport. We need a modern airport. The airport currently was actually made to accommodate about 7.8 million Kenyans. It has gone overboard. I think we are now at 8.2. When it was built, is it 1978 or thereabout? And so therefore we need a modern port. We need a modern airport. We need to have this, and that is why we have the National Infrastructure Fund, because we have to expand our capacity if truly we are to become a first world country. And Africa is rising. And actually to show that, our Kenya's foreign reserve has actually soared to a record 14.6 billion. That is 1.9 trillion after $2.1 billion inflow from a 2.25 billion sovereign Eurobond sale. You remember we did a sovereign Eurobond sale last week and we got very good monies. Reserves now cover 6.2 months of imports, exceeding Central Bank and East Africa's community minimum threshold, enhancing Kenya's external liquidity and currency stability. And as you are aware, already our currency has been stable for the last 2 years, almost, at 129. It has actually been cited as one of the 5 strongest currencies in the world. This is really, really commendable, and because now we are able to cover 6.2 months of importation, we don't need that. Before it used to be 5.3. By the time we actually came, our reserves were very low, but we have actually been able to take to that level. And so therefore, we are able to do quite a bit as a government. And directly to the people, you can see like in Mosop constituency, the Kaiboi Economic Stimulus Program, ESP market, is actually near completion under the economic, this program, and which will host 400 traders with cold storage, a community hall, hotel, and modern facilities. This hub links Nandi County farmers directly to buyers, boosting local trade and reducing travel to Eldoret, enhancing livelihoods. So you see already money for infrastructure and for such is already benefiting people. And also here in Coast, we now have the construction of a 10,000-seater FIFA and CAF standard stadium in Voi, Taita Taveta County. And this is set to begin through a partnership between the Ministry of Defense and the county government, led by Governor Mwadime. And the Kenya Defense Forces will oversee the works, which, of course, We'll ensure that local residents participate in the construction, creating jobs, and delivering the county's first world-class, sports facility. So hakuna mtu ambaye anawachwa nyuma. We are making sure that we have proper, stadia, quite a number of them, over and above the national one, that is a Talanta Stadium, that is along Gong Road. I saw a very big one called Nehru Stadium there in New Delhi, in India. And the global south is rising, and that is why we need to, because Kenya is the third largest economy in sub-Saharan Africa. When you hear sub-Saharan, think of black Africa, and the sixth strongest economy in Africa, one of the six strongest in Africa out of the 54 countries. So we are getting it right. 3 years ago, 4 years ago, we were on the downward trend, and it is as a result of the way in which we have great leadership, like the one we have at KPA, led by Captain William Ruto. Let's hear from him now. Captain, habari yako?
Nzuri.
Asante sana kwa kutukaribisha hapa.
Karibu bandari ya Mombasa.
Asante sana.
Asante.
Asante sana. Now, Captain, hapa ni bandari. Naona ufukwe, naona huku, naona kunakaa vizuri sana. People hear about you, and when they hear William Ruto, and they start asking, nani huyu ambaye anashare jina na rais wetu mpendwa, William Samoei Ruto? And I remember when you were being appointed, there was a whole debate about it. And I'm happy that now you've actually even gotten into your second term, and you are doing great. But let's first know, who is Captain William Ruto? Ulizaliwa wapi, umekuwa wapi, up to the time that we get to know you as a MD of KPA.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. My name is Captain William Ruto.
Pengine sauti kidogo.
My name is Captain William Ruto. And as you have rightly said, I'm the CEO of the Kenya Ports Authority. And I would say I'm from Mombasa, because basically this is where I grew up.
Wow.
And
wewe ni mtu wa Mombasa kabisa.
Mimi ni mtu wa Mombasa.
You grew up since when you were how old?
No, I was born in Rift Valley, and then I came, and also all my childhood here in terms of work, I started in Mombasa.
Okay.
So I started my sea career in the port of Mombasa. And when I was employed in KPI, I was employed in 1998, and I started... 1998?
Yeah,
but I was working on board ships by then. Huh?
Okay.
So, but I joined in now, and I started active piloting in 2001.
2001?
2001.
Okay.
So, and from 2001, I've grown from...
Lakini kabla tuende hapo Captain, kama ulisomea primary school inaitwa nini, secondary, wajua watu wanataka connect na wewe, ina maana that they can feel you're one of them. So, because your story is very inspiring.
Okay. I schooled in a primary school known as Kabimoi Primary School. And then later on, I went to a secondary school in Baragoi in Samburu district.
Okay, Samburu district.
Samburu district.
Samburu County now.
Samburu County. And then I later on came to another school in Baringo known as Pro High School.
Okay.
And then now I came back to Mombasa here. Then I started my sea training in South Africa.
In South Africa? Okay. Where in South Africa?
A place known as Durban University.
Okay, Durban, University of Durban.
Yeah, University of Durban, Maritime Academy. And then from there, I finalized my training in UK. Northern part of UK known as Newcastle.
Newcastle, okay. University of Newcastle.
A college known as South Tyneside College.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's why I finalized my sea career training. Then now I came back to the port, and I started as a pilot until now where I am now.
Wow, makofi kabisa hapo. Yani tuko na pilot sasa ambaye sasa ndiye captain, and now you are piloting the Kenya Ports Authority. So what has been your motivation, to rise all the way? It seems you started in 2001 at the port. That means you've been in this institution for now 25 years plus. So what has been your motivation?
My motivation is the workforce that I have here myself. I have a very strong team. And when in KPA, we work as a team and we work as a family. And again, the stakeholders that we have with us, I have wonderful stakeholders, ranging from the shipping companies, the agents, the clearing agents, transporters, name it all. I cannot name everybody. And also the transit markets. Our transit market are our biggest customers. And when we talk about the Port of Mombasa, the Port of Mombasa, we say, is the gateway to Eastern Central Africa.
Yeah.
This is where the Northern Corridor starts, and it goes all the way to DRC.
To DRC.
To DRC.
So how many countries are we able to serve directly?
We are serving about 10 countries from this port.
Oh, very good.
Yeah.
10 countries.
10 countries.
Na watu wanatumia hii port yetu Mombasa?
Yeah, 10 countries are using this port.
Wonderful. So maybe you can tell us how the port is organized in terms of the structure and the authority. So, the various departments and what you essentially do.
Of these ports, we run the port of Mombasa, and we also have the port of Lamu that has recently come up, and all the small seaports along the coast of Kenya.
Okay.
We have also the mandate of running the ICD. We run dry ports.
Okay.
We have
one in Embakasi and
we have one in Nairobi, Embakasi, Naivasha. We also have one in Eldoret, even though it is not operational.
Yeah.
We have one in Kisumu, and we also run the lake ports.
All the lake ports.
And not also forgetting the ferries. The ferries fall under Kenya Ports Authority.
Wow.
That was a mandate that was given to us in 2021 again.
Okay.
So our mandate continues to
that
expand.
means that Kenya Ferry Services.
Now there is no more Kenya Ferry Services.
Okay.
It is Kenya Ports Authority.
Wow, hapa watu wengi wako wanajua hiyo. So ferry zote ni wewe una captain.
Everything. Yeah. For you to cross the south coast,
yes,
KP has to give you a service.
Okay.
For you to cross from the south coast to the mainland,
yes,
to the island,
yes,
KP has to give you a service.
And somebody told me, when I was moving around to get to know the facility, kwamba bado unapeleka, wewe bado ni nahodha. You actually ship, you captain the ship still.
My profession comes first. And as a doctor is always a doctor. So as a ship captain, I will always remain as a ship captain. And this is what I like doing most. So you will find me most of the time when pressure of work on the side of marine picks up, I will always lend a hand myself. That's why sometimes we say we need all hands on deck. So in KPA, we believe in that whenever there is exigency of work, everybody comes and assist where he can.
Okay, wonderful. So how are you organized at KPA? I think that is something we need to learn.
Yeah, in KPA we have several divisions and departments. We have a department that runs marine.
Okay.
It's now the one that does pilotage, mooring, taggage, aids to navigation. We have also the ferry services. We have the container service, it's container operations that runs all containerized vessels. We have the general cargo, which is known as convectional cargo. Where we are seated now is our cruise terminal, which forms part of the convectional cargo. So all these vessels that bring general cargo, bulk cargo, and the rest are handled from convectional cargo. And we have also the oil terminals. We have oil terminals here.
The Kipevu.
We have the Kipevu oil terminal, we have Shimanzi oil terminal, and we have also Mbaraki Wharf. That also serves as a multi-purpose berth and also serves petroleum tankers.
Oh, wonderful. So you have an establishment of how many staff? How many are
We have an establishment of 6,805.
Wonderful. That's the establishment. And then in-post?
That's the establishment. Huh?
And in-post, the actual stuff that you do?
That is the in-post. The establishment is over 78,000. Because again, we have the establishment for Lamu, establishment for Nairobi, establishment for Kisumu.
So how are you able to manage 6,800 people, Captain? That's quite something.
No, that's why I say we work as a team. So we have the HR team, we have the legal team, we have the IT team that deals with the systems. So every department is headed by a general manager.
A general manager?
By a general manager. And then the general manager is assisted by the divisional heads.
Okay.
So now if you go to general manager cargo operations, he has now confectional cargo operations, he has the ICDs, and also he has container terminal operation. So each also has its own small functional units that supports the operations of the ports.
Oh, wonderful. That's absolutely amazing. So now, let's come now to, that's a huge undertaking. Wajua wakati kitambo mimi nilikuwa nasikia watu kama Kennedy Kiliku, alikuwa Dock Workers Union Secretary General hapa, na mwisho akakuwa mbunge wa DP, pia kulikuwa na your predecessor Simeon Mkala. It's like KPA at that point in time ilikuwa pia a very good springboard for people to join politics.
True.
Wewe uko na any political ambitions?
I have no political ambitions. That will be the last ambition that I will ever wish.
Okay. You're a technocrat.
Technocrat.
So according, now you are now into your second term, starting today, which makofi hapo kwanza kwa sababu hiyo ni kitu vizuri zaidi hapo. Because so tell us, what have you been able to achieve as a port this far? And maybe you can also take that opportunity to clarify whatever that has been peddled as falsehoods in the media about concessions and what have you. But maybe, if according to how you like it, tell us what you've been able to achieve.
We've been able to achieve a lot as a team. As I said, in KPA, we work as a team. And numbers don't lie. You know, we always say, if you want to know, then the numbers are there. Numbers will not lie. I'll give you an example of the containerized cargo that we handle ourselves in this port. In 2014, we were very proud to have hit the 1 million TEU mark. That was 2014.
2014. Those are 1 million TEUs.
1 million TEU.
Yes. What are TEUs? Maybe
TEU is a 20-feet container.
Okay, so 1 million.
Now we have 40 feet and we have 20 feet.
Okay.
So when we say a TEU is 1 40-feet container is 2 TEUs.
Okay.
So in 2014, we handled 1 million TEU.
2014.
So it was a great celebration for us. From 2014 to 2022, that is 8 years, we had only a marginal growth of from 1 million to 1.45. Okay? So in 8 years, we grew a volume of 400,000 TEUs.
Yeah.
When I took over in 2023, and with the new government coming in 2022, September, by the end of that year, our growth had grown to 1.6 million TEUs.
Wow.
That was an 11.6% growth. The following year, 2024, we hit at 2 million TEU.
Wow.
So within a period of 2 years, we were able to grow our volumes by 600,000.
600,000.
600,000.
Within 2 years.
Within 2 years.
When the other one, 400,000, 8 years.
8 years. So you can see the tremendous growth. And now, last year we hit 2.1 million TEU. And the challenge that we have now is the success that we've had now. Because now, normally in maritime industry, we say that you build capacity before the demand.
You build capacity before the demand.
Yeah, you build the capacity.
Before, okay, wow.
Before the demand.
That is very forward-looking.
But now, the demand has overtaken the capacity.
Okay.
Because this port, the capacity of this port is 2.2 million TEUs.
2.2 million TEUs. And now we are already at 2 million.
2.1 now.
2.1 already. Wow.
Now we are struggling in terms of capacity now, capacity constraints. And despite all these challenges, we still have stakeholders who have a lot of confidence. The transit market have a lot of confidence in this port of Mombasa. It's the gateway to East and Central Africa. The volumes continue to grow. And it is also important to say that, the port of Lamu, which we started constructing in around 2013, it was around 2013 we started the construction of Lamu Port. We completed the construction of Lamu Port in 2021. And you can imagine from 2021, there was no ship going to Lamu. But when I came in as the CEO and with the new government, we marketed that port like anything else.
Okay.
By 2024, the first line now started now calling at the port of Lamu.
Okay.
This year alone, the second line started calling into Lamu. As we speak now, the capacity also is also eating us on the port of Lamu. Now, we have ships in Lamu on daily basis.
Okay.
We have reached an extent that now we have even waiters now. And today also was a very important day for us at the port of Lamu. We handled the first car carrier today in the port of Lamu.
That is to mean there's a ship that broadcasts through the port of Lamu.
To do transshipment.
Wow.
Mainly the port of Lamu is a transshipment hub.
What do you mean by transshipment?
Transshipment means it's like a passenger who is on a transit. If
Oh,
you
I
are
see.
going today to Europe,
Okay.
if you are going through Emirates, they will take you to Dubai, you wait
okay,
for
on
another
transit.
ship.
Okay.
So
Kabla
in
unabadilisha
the
ndege hii
shipping
unaenda kwa hii
business,
nyingine.
it is transshipment.
Okay.
So this cargo will wait for another ship to come and take it to other places.
Destination.
So most of the shipping lines now, we have two major shipping lines now that have chosen the port of Lamu as their transshipment hub within this region.
Wow.
And the maiden voyage for the car carrier that came in today has also given us at least business today. And I've also confirmed that they have now chosen Lamu Port as their transshipment hub. Today, the first car carrier that came today was bringing 436 high-end new motor vehicles for transshipment.
Wow.
They have now also confirmed to us in the next 5 days, they will be bringing another car carrier to offload more than 2,500 motor vehicles. This is a record that has never been done within this region because the only hub where you could do transshipment in terms of motor vehicles was only Durban. But this vessel came from Durban to come and offload some consignments here for other ports, especially other going to the Gulf region and other ports within the coast of East Africa.
Wonderful, wonderful. So what are the other, maybe in less than a minute, what are the other key achievements that you've done here, at KPA that are people facing? Somebody will ask, what is the opportunity I have at the port?
And I even didn't mention all achievements that we've done. That was only on the side of containerized cargo again. In terms of traffic, in terms of the throughput, when I joined in 2023 as the CEO, we were handling about 35 million tons throughput.
Okay.
Last year, we handled 45.5 million tons throughput. Over the other years, we used to have a growth of 0.5%, 1%, 2%. Last year alone, we hit 11% growth in terms of total tonnage throughput.
But that's very good. It's like the growth of the Chinese economy at 10%. It's now 11%.
Having a port that does a double-digit growth in terms of volumes of cargo is not something that is easy. The highest record that we ever broke was 23.9% when we hit the 2 million TEU mark, which was a remarkable achievement. It's a record that has never been done in this port. And again, in terms of the workforce, I have a highly motivated workforce, which is coming because of taking care of their welfare, making sure that we also train them again, because again, the most important thing is you must have a highly trained workforce to be able to be efficient and to be able to deliver. All these numbers that we are talking about is the numbers that we used to handle 1.4 million. That is the same number that is handling now 2.1 million TEUs. So it is also going that extra mile and also giving that extra energy to ensure that the authority achieves in terms of performance, in terms of the targets that we've been given by the national government. Again, without the support of the national government, all these achievements couldn't have been achieved.
Possible. Under President
And
William
again, without the support of the board, because we have a board that oversees us now, without their support, all these achievements we wouldn't have achieved. So I want to say that
The chairman is the former MP for Bahari, yeah?
Benjamin Tayari,
Tayari, yeah.
whose term,
Bunge huyu.
his term expired in January, but we expect him to join us very soon.
Wonderful. Makofi kabisa hapo. Now we are going to take a short break, and we can clearly see that hii meli ya KPA iko na nahodha ambaye ni sawa kabisa, si ndio? Kwa hivyo tuendelee kukua hapa katika kipindi cha Sema na Spox. Sema na Spox. Keep it right here on this edition of this wonderful award-winning platform to tell the government story.
Hizi ni taarifa za wiki hii kutoka ofisi ya msemaji wa serikali, kituo chako cha kuaminika kwa taarifa rasmi za serikali. Rais William Ruto akagua ujenzi wa hospitali ya ngazi ya 4 ya Dagoretti. Maendeleo yashuhudiwa katika ujenzi wa soko la kisasa la Riruta. Serikali yaendelea kuimarisha miundombinu ya mafunzo ya ufundi na stadi. Serikali yaweka mageuzi mapya ya kina ili kuboresha usalama barabarani. Viongozi wajadili vipaumbele vya maendeleo vya ukanda wa kaskazini mashariki. Serikali yaongeza ujenzi wa masoko ya kisasa kwa wafanyabiashara. Serikali yaendelea kupanua hospitali ya rufaa na mafunzo ya Meru. Viongozi na wananchi waomboleza kifo cha Joanna Ng'eno na waathiriwa wengine. Kwenye kipindi cha Sema na Spox, Bonga na Gava, mkuu wa Uwezo Fund Bwana Peter Lengapiani alijadili jinsi Uwezo Fund na mpango wa ujuzi wa kidijitali wa Nyota unavyoshughulikia changamoto ya ukosefu wa mkopo na ajira kwa vijana. Waziri Kipchumba Murkomen asukuma ajenda ya ujumuishaji wa kifedha kwa wakimbizi kupitia mpango wa shirika. Ujenzi wa mradi wa nyumba nafuu wa Nyali VOK wapiga hatua mjini Mombasa. Cyber Game Kenya mwaka 2026 yazinduliwa ili kuimarisha ujuzi wa usalama wa mtandao. Waziri Aden Duale asimamia utiaji saini na makubaliano ya kuimarisha mifumo ya afya. Katibu Mkuu Oluga atoa wito wa kuongeza uwekezaji katika mifumo ya afya. Wizara ya Afya yashirikiana na Casual Foundry kutumia akili mneba katika huduma za afya za jamii. Katibu Mkuu Julius Bitok azindua madarasa mapya kuimarisha elimu kaunti ya Kakamega. Kenya yalenga kufikia makubaliano ya kusafirisha mifugo nje ya nchi na Algeria. Waziri Salim Mvurya azindua mkutano wa Youth Jobs in Africa Community of Practice Summit. Msichana wa miaka 8 Sasha Ngeny aongoza kampeni ya upandaji miti nchini Kenya. Waziri Rebecca Miano atoa fidia kwa waathiriwa wa migogoro kati ya binadamu na wanyamapori kaunti ya Elgeyo Marakwet. Kenya yajifunza kutoka Thailand katika juhudi za kufikia kujitosheleza kwa uzalishaji wa mpunga. Ni mwisho wa taarifa zetu za wiki hii. Tukutane tena wiki ijayo.
Welcome to Sema na Spox. Sema na Spox. And as we say this edition here at the Kenya Ports Authority with none other than Captain William Ruto, the one man who is the right captain for this port, but also who shares both of his names with the Commander-in-Chief of the Defense Forces, His Excellency President William Ruto, under whose leadership we've seen great transformation of this country. He is a faith president, and by the grace of God, through his appointment, I am the fifth government spokesperson. Hapa ni Sema na Spox, Bonga na Gava. Now let's come to Mr. So-and-so, Mrs. So-and-so. Hao ndio wakati tutaanza kuuliza maswali na pia kujua ni watu ngapi ambao wamefaidika kutokana na hii poti. Kwa hiyo sasa tutaanza kusikia the real beneficiaries. Nani atakuwa wa kwanza? Please have the mic. Haya basi. Simama kidogo, sio kama utasimama ndio. Basi.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Kwa jina naitwa Salim Nasib Mubarak. Salim Nasib Mubarak ni founder and CEO of Western Logistics Limited. It's basically a clearing and forwarding company established in the year 2003, and we, as far as benefits is concerned, we've benefited enormously from this port of Mombasa. Through this port, we have an establishment of almost 30. We started with 30 employees. We started with none, and we are now running a company which is employing 30 employees. So that to me is one of the biggest benefit. Besides, we also work very closely with the port authorities. I'm one of the major stakeholders in the port. We have fortnight meetings interacting with the MD and his team. And when we have challenges, that's the forum where we address, and the MD is always there handy to sort out and make sure our challenges and problems in the port are sorted. This is also one of the major benefits, the fact that we interact and engage the port authorities as stakeholders to solve issues as they arise. I also represent the Cereal Millers Association. I believe you had breakfast today, and part of your menu must have been bread and butter, and chicken. Okay. So we are facilitated through handling of grains in a modern and efficient manner. We have what we call the grain bulk facilities, which of course contribute immensely towards handling of grains, and therefore cost-effective, in a cost-effective manner. We have containerized cargo. As the captain has put it, the volumes have been on the increase, and of course most of those commodities are for traders and manufacturers. So I handle quite a number of traders and manufacturers who bring their cargoes through this port, and through the efficiency of the port, of course, they have seen a lot of reduction in their costs, and therefore these costs are passed over to me and you as Kenyan citizens in terms of the final price that the consumer enjoys at the supermarket or at the shelves. So these are benefits that I can enumerate. There are so many, but you have given me only 2 minutes, Bwana Mahura. I would have said more. But greatly and most importantly, we have to thank, a big thank you to the captain. He has done quite a lot. It is the only captain over the 23 years I've been in this business that you can call at midnight and he picks your call. And he sorts out your issues. In fact, even before he became the MD, when he was General Manager Operations, we used to call him at midnight. He says, send me an email. I send an email and it is approved if it's a challenge that he has to get in touch with. So a big kudos to him. We wish him well for the second term, 3 terms. And I believe the port is the gateway of the East and Central Africa. The port is an international sea port, because without this gateway, our economies and those of the partner states, the transit market, will not benefit. So we again wish to say a big thank you to him and to the new program that you have brought in to educate Kenyans on what is happening in all the areas and spheres of this country's operations and economy. I beg to stop and thank you so much for the opportunity.
Asante sana. Na tunasema pia Ramadhan Karim, asante sana kwa vile ambavyo umejieleza vizuri sana. It's very good to say that our coming here in Coast has been supported by KPA. So KPA pia ni sponyo. Unajua kwa hii lugha ya mtoto sema ni nani? Sponyo, sponsor. Kwa hivyo thank you very much KPA for that. And we really appreciate the partnership that we are having here. So over to you, sir. What's your name and umefaidika kivipi?
Assalamu alaikum. Bwana Yesu asifiwe. Observing all protocols, Honorable Mora. Captain, let me start with saying congratulations. I'm very happy for the good news. And as usual, I've been singing from time to time in your office. My name is Daniel Nzeki. I represent an industry which is of investors called Container Freight Stations, or CFSs in short.
CFSs, okay.
CFSs, we're investors. We came through a public partner arrangement with KPA. PPP,
okay.
Many years ago, around 2008, and we have grown.
This must have been one of the oldest PPPs, eh?
Yes, yes. And now there are new ones coming,
Okay.
thanks to the leadership. What I want to say is, through the leadership of Captain, the management and the team he has led has been fantastic. These things didn't start today or didn't start yesterday. Even you've heard when he was still a general manager, he was reachable. We could call him. He attends to our issues. Even now, despite being an MD, he still listens to us. He has time for us.
Actually, maybe to prove you right, because wakati nilikuwa naye kwa ofisi kabla tujakuja hapa, naona ako na simu nyingine kwa watch inalia na nyingine hapa anasikiza. I mean, and he was answering to calls. So hiyo sio kipindi, hiyo ni ukweli.
Yes.
Kwamba he actually responds to his
So under his leadership, we have seen tremendous growth. As you've heard in the last 4 years, the volumes have not tripled, but they have grown exponentially. And us, as the investors and as partners of KPA, we are glad that we grew the capacity before the demand. We worked with them. They guided us. And as the volumes are growing, also our volumes are growing as investors, because I represent the investors in that sector. We are happy because we are investors. We are happy with the growth, and our prayer is we keep this work, we keep this discussion for the prosperity of all of us and all Kenyans. Honorable Mora, as Speaker said, this program is good. If you don't talk or speak for yourself, or you don't cry for yourself, the person who will talk on your behalf will most likely misquote you or will say the wrong thing. And thank you for giving us this opportunity, because I can say what I have seen through his leadership and through the leadership of the country in large. Sitaki kusema mengi, mimi nitasema we continue with that work, and Mungu atubariki. Asanteni.
Asante sana. Let's come now to mzee hapa. Utuambie unaitwa nani na umefaidika aje na hii port? Yeah. Endelea tu.
My name is PJ Shah. I'm a clearing and forwarding agent. I started my career in 1962 with
Wow.
the then
1962.
with the then East African Customs and
you've done
Excise
it for,
Department.
You've done it now for how many years? 64
More
years?
than 50 years now.
Yeah, 64 years, yeah.
So I started my career with East African Customs and Excise Department in 1962. I took a premature retirement in 1969, and I joined an international clearing and forwarding company in 69. So since 69, I have been involved with KPA. At that time, it was known as East African Harbors Corporation. And I had the privilege of working with the first general manager of East African Harbors, Mr. Shatri. And now we have, so I have seen I've seen the change from East African Harbors Corporation to Kenya Ports Authority. I have interacted with all the most of the MDs who have come and gone, but I think we have a very good working relationship with Captain Ruto. I have seen the change from manual processes to automation, and I have been part of that process as well. I'm the founder member of Kenya Clearing and Forwarding Warehousing Association, which is presently now KIFWA. We formed that association in 1986, so I've also been involved with the association since then.
So those are 30 years now.
Sorry?
30 years now since
Yeah,
you founded the association.
So we have seen a lot of changes in the port, from automation now to infrastructure development, all the developments of the new berths, the new equipment that has come in. And I think we are on the right path.
Okay.
There's still a lot of work to be done to make sure that the government's intention of 24/7 economy becomes a reality. And for that to become a reality, there's need for the port to work 24/7. KPA works for, but other government organizations still have a long way to go to work 24/7. And I think this is where we need Captain Ruto to lead that fight to make sure that all the other government agencies are on board to work 24/7. And then we will see the real benefits to the country. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yes, let's now hear finally from you. You look much younger. But no, before we go there, yes sir, Mr. Shah. Umeemploy watu wangapi kwa hiyo miaka yote sasa kupitia hii clearing and forwarding, and even the whole association?
Sorry,
how many jobs have you been able to create?
I didn't.
How many jobs have you been able to create as a clearing and forwarding company?
Oh, I started my own company in 1986, and I have a staff of 26 at the moment. And it's I own that company. It's a one-man show, but I employ 20.
What about the 30-year association? How many jobs has the clearing and forwarding been? Do you have a rough figure of?
No, I just changed one job. So from customs, I joined the private company, and I worked there for. It was a British international company. I started as a junior management trainee. I rose to the position of the director and then to the managing director. And I left in 1986 to start my own company.
Well, thank you very much. That's a very inspiring story. And you're still going strong.
Well, I enjoy my work.
Wonderful. And how old are you now?
I have a passion in this work.
How old are you now? I mean, you are strong, you know?
I'm 81 years old.
And you're still, wow. That's amazing. Thank you very much. So wewe uko kwako, uko kwa kitanda chako unalialia, unasema uweze kuamka sijui umechoka kazi, na mzee ako hapa 81 years, strong, bado anafanya hiyo kazi. That's really amazing. Good. And we are happy because it's the opportunities that are being provided for by the authority. Thank you.
Thank you. My name is Richard Okwiri.
Ongea kwa nguvu kidogo.
Richard Okwiri is chairman of Empty Container Depot Association.
Come again?
Richard Okwiri is the chairman of Empty Container Depots Association.
Okay.
Empty container, the container are...
Mnafanyaje hiyo Okwiri hiyo empty containers, tuelezee? Hii association yenu?
Mine first, before I continue, may I take this opportunity to congratulate MD for his second appointment. The MD is a hand-on MD. He's someone who is always available.
Sawa.
We always meet at 6 when he's doing patrol in the port. Every day, unless he's outside the port.
Sawa.
Not very easy for MD. I've seen this port. Not easy. And MD, I will just pray that the God have given this opportunity to use you to touch the life of your staff in this port.
So kuja sasa kwa mambo yako Okwiri, umefaidikaje na mnakuwa kufanya nini kwa hizo?
Me, I've really empty container. Nobody knew empty container within this port. It's something that was forgotten. But through KPA, we have been able to bring empty to limelight. Everybody now knows what empty is and how important is it in this port. Because KPO also, they need volume through those empty containers. When they have discharged the vessel, they finish the loading, they depend also on empty, because this container has to go back to the port.
So hebu tuelezee Okwiri.
So really,
wait a bit. Unaongea kizungu kingi sana lakini pole pole. So what do you do as an empty container association? Mnafanyanga kazi yenu ni gani?
we store containers.
You see, all containers that are imported into this country, you know, importers will take the containers, will strip and return the container to the shipping line. So he's the first person to handle those empty containers.
Okay.
Because they cannot be brought by everybody at the same time.
Okay.
So the shipping line will have an holding place where they stack all those empties. So he's a service provider that provides that platform now for shipping lines to use their facility, and then from their facility transport them to the port now for us to be able to load.
Wonderful. Wonderful. So Okwiri, I saw when I went through the port, I saw you are dedicating actually an area for empty containers. You know, that whole embankment there. Why so? Na mnafaidikaje na hiyo that new strategy ambao captain amekuja ya to make sure all the empty containers ziko na mahali pake?
Yes, currently we have about 5 empty depots that we store containers. All trucks come, when they drop container the depot, then later on we transfer them to port. It's an industry where even the government is not concerned about it. The government itself does not even concern about it, and a very potential where government can make a lot of money through empty container.
How?
But it's a forgotten industry.
Bonga na Gava, eh?
Yes, so that's why I'm raising this. That's why I'm raising this. I want to draw attention so that you know that there's something called empty container. It's an industry that is very potential for this country.
You are beating around the bush. Eh? I want you to go straight to the point. How do people make money with the containers?
We are paid when we store those containers. We invoice shipping line, they pay us. Okay. So when we employ people in those empty depots. You have employed all those empty containers.
So how many jobs have you been able to create?
There are five depots, and one depot have about 1,000 employees. That's one depot. There are more people, and so there are 5 depots.
Drivers,
so you can meet. There are many.
So over 10,000 people.
Over 10,000.
Yes, over 10,000 people.
So thank you very much. Tutaachia hapa because of time, naambiwa na mwelekezi wangu kwamba tumalizie hapo.
But now the problem.
Please last minute. Last word please kwa sababu ya muda.
Sorry?
Malizia, just one sentence please.
The problem that with the depot, we have storage, and we are not benefiting. The government is not benefiting in empty container. That's I want to draw your attention as a Gava, because as a Gava, I want to draw attention. What can government do to tap this business of empty containers? More people, more young people can be employed in this business of empty container. It's a very potential, and I thank KPA. KPA has been very supportive in our industry.
Sawa.
We are where we are because
thank you very
of
much, Okwiri. Makofi kwa Okwiri. Thank you very much. Now let's come to the 2 questions quickly na turudi kwa captain ndiye aweze kumalizia. First question please, haraka haraka, simama utuambie unaitwa nani na go straight to the point because of time. Enda too straight to the point. Simama utuambie unaitwa nani?
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Ali Hamo and I work for the authority. My question goes to our Managing Director, Captain William Ruto, under whose leadership KPA has performed excellence and operational excellence. Now, sir, could you kindly elaborate on how KPA will continue to support trade in regional countries? That is for you. Or I rephrase, could you kindly elaborate on how KPA continues to support and facilitate regional trade in East Africa?
Thank you, Makofi sana. Next question.
Honorable.
No, please, because of time, let's go to the next question, please. Time.
To Honorable.
No, please.
I beg you.
Time.
1 minute.
Time. Please, sir.
1 minute. Karibu Mombasa and ukirudi Nairobi. tunaomba upeleke shukrani zetu za dhati kwa Rais William Ruto for reappointing our managing director. Mwambie raundi hii kura za wafanyikazi wa KPS zitashinda zile za Tharaka Nithi. Hiyo ndio nilikuwa nataka kusema.
Wewe ni mwanasiasa kweli. Asante sana. Yes, Dorcas.
Okay, good evening. My name is Dorcas Okech. I work for Kenya Ports Authority as an administrative officer, supply chain management department. My question is to my CEO, Captain William Ruto. What are the measures that KPA has put in place to fight corruption, to improve on transparency, and also enhance operational efficiency? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now, we have less than 3 minutes, Captain, for you to answer the questions and also give us your closing remarks. The show really goes very fast. That's why unaona ninaharakisha kidogo.
So, number one, I want to thank Amo for the question he asked. What are we doing as KPA to support the regional trade within the region? As KPA, you are aware that we've invested heavily in terms of infrastructure, and with the support of the national government, again, I think you've seen the national government is focusing much in doing the roads that are able to support the business that is coming out from this port. One thing which is very important, and I think it is also very important for you, government spokesman, to know why the government is focusing mainly on the roads, is that the road from Mombasa to Nairobi was built, I don't know, in 1950 or 1960. The same road, which was handling, I think that time, maybe less than 100 containers, because by then there were no containers. It's the same road that is now handling more than 2 million TEUs. So you can see the demand that is needed in terms of putting a lot of money in terms of infrastructure. And we want to appreciate the government for now doing the second dual carriageway from Rironi to Mau Summit. That will open up the northern corridor for us. If there is anything that the government has done that KPA really appreciates, is the investment that they have done in infrastructure. The Rironi Mau Summit is the game changer for us. Number two is the SGR. You see, this port, we are very proud that we have multimodal transport models here. That today you can choose to use the road, today you can choose to use the rail, you choose to use the meter gauge from here to Kisumu, and from Kisumu you can use the ship to Uganda. Recently, when the KPC IPO was floated, I think you're aware Uganda was the biggest country that invested heavily in terms of KPC, because they have seen the efficiency and the investment Kenya Ports Authority has made. At the moment, we have an oil terminal that is ultra modern, that you can't find within this region. It's able to handle 4 ships at any given time. Ships now are able to pump petroleum products from here through KPC to Kisumu. And from Kisumu, there are ships that are called Kisumu Port to ship that consignment to Uganda. Within 10-15 hours, your consignment should be in Uganda. So it is one of the safest mode of transportation, and it is one of the agenda that as KPA we say we want to support the Green Port initiatives, because one shipment of products from Kisumu to Uganda, one shipload is more than 158 trucks. Okay. So you can imagine the carbon emission that you have reduced, the number of trucks that you have reduced on the roads, that is also eating into the government in terms of damaging our roads. Because if you have 158 trucks moving every day using the same road, again, the wear and tear is also there. My sister has mentioned something about what do we need to do as port, and also to support the government in terms of reducing if there is any corruption. One of the things that we've done as a port is that we've automated all our systems. In this port, there is no way you will go and give money and say you are paying for a service. All our payment is done through online platform. through e-citizen, through banks. The shipping lines, they wire their money from Europe or from America, and it comes into our account, and it knocks off your invoice. The stakeholders, you've heard them talking here. I want to single out PJ Shah. I think he has institutional memory about this port. If today you were to ask PJ Shah to write a story about the port, he will give you a very good story from where the port was when we used to do things manually up to now where we are saying we are paperless port. This is a port where you don't need to come with papers. You come with your phone, you show, just pick up order, you pick your consignment, you go to the gate will not open if you have not paid us.
Wow.
And you don't need to show anybody the receipt. The system itself will tell us. So one of the things that we've done is we've automated all our services so that to reduce any physical interaction that can be able to
The human agency.
to bring that issues.
And it's very interesting because after cabinet now, I think you are the second body that we are hearing that you become paperless, and yet you are operating volumes and volumes
Yes.
of work. And that means that nobody has any excuse that they cannot go paperless. Now, what is your closing remarks because of time, Captain? What your closing quote?
My closing remarks is, first of all, is to thank all the stakeholders that have come here. I want to appreciate your messages of appreciation of what we have done. I know as a port, we have so many things that we can do in terms, because really, we would have really wished even to have more time to be able to say, what are we doing as a port and what is the government supporting us in terms of infrastructure development? Because as I have said, that you need to build capacity before demand. But now that demand has overstretched us, what we've done as a port is that we are doing now the construction of number 19B, which is a 240-meter quay length, with an additional yard stacking space for 300,000 TEUs. We have Dongokundu that will open up the Dongokundu Special Economic Zone. It is one of the agendas that the government has been pushing. Since I came into this port, I've always been hearing about Dongokundu, Dongokundu, Dongokundu. But I appreciate with this government that it is the first time now that we can say it has come to fruition, that Dongokundu has started. And I want to say that with the support of the Japanese government through the concessional loan, the construction of Dongokundu Special Economic Zone has started. We have so many investors that have applied to invest in Dongokundu.
Okay.
And I want to say that the investment in Dongokundu will open up a lot of opportunities for this port and create employment for our youth. We have a youthful workforce that needs employment. And the opening up and the exploitation of the blue economy, because one of the things that I'm happy that the government has started in terms of policy direction is to support the blue economy. And you are able to see now that we have a minister who is in charge of blue economy, and we are seeing now the fruits of the blue economy. Okay. The other thing again is to appreciate.
Maybe we are finding thoughts because of time. The last thing.
The last thing is to appreciate my fellow colleagues, my workers, my employees who are my colleagues. I want to thank you so much. I also want to thank all the stakeholders and all those who have taken their time to come here. I don't want to take your time to come here for granted. Bwana Salim, Bwana Richard, Bwana mwalimu yangu, he was my teacher. One thing is, he was my teacher in the university.
Oh, wow.
Bwana Nzeki, thank you so much. So I just want to appreciate everybody. I want to say that we have so much that we can do with your support, with the knowledge that you have. And you are also aware that we operate an open door policy that we also want to hear from you. There is one thing that I want to demystify about this issue of privatization and concessioning. What we are doing, and I think what we have done is we did a feasibility study of all our assets. You know, we're doing a feasibility study to see these assets that we have in these ports, what is their worth? And if we want to bring the private sector to invest in this port, because again, to be able to synergize and to be able to build all this infrastructure, we need also to work with the private sector. We need somebody that can guarantee us volumes. What we are trying to do as a port is that we want to be a landlord port. A landlord port is a situation whereby it's like I own the plot and I own the house, but I've rented you for the house only to to live in that house. But the house belongs to me. The land belongs to me. So there is nothing like privatization. It's a landlord port. All the assets belong to the government through Kenya Ports Authority. But we are only leasing you to come and operate, and then you just go. And you can guarantee us more volumes, because again, what we will do is, we will say, if we are leasing you this terminal, we want you to guarantee us volumes. That today, you will give us certain volumes. You will also guarantee us in terms of employment, how many people are you going to employ? Because by working with the private sector, we synergize our performance, we improve our performance again, and we earn more revenue from our assets. There are so many assets that are underutilized. Like what I was saying, number 23, 24, it requires over $600 million. Number 11 to 14, we need about $350,000. From number 1 to number 10, we need another $350 million. So all this money, the port cannot be able to, do all this investment in one time. Because now you've seen now the volumes have grown, the demand is there, but there are also investors who are willing to invest. Be it the local investors again, because we also want to support our local investors. Be it the foreign investors, but the ownership of the port remains with the government.
Thank you very much. Makofi kabisa. Thank you very much, Captain. That we've ended up on a very high note. And we look forward to even having more shows. This is a start of a collaboration. Na hii show inaitwa Sema na Spox. Sema na Spox. Sema na Spox.
Bonga na Gava.
Na tunasema mimi ni Mkenya mzalendo. Je, wewe? Mimi ni Mkenya mzalendo daima. Keep it here until we meet again. Let's say tumefurahi sana KPA, lakini kabla tupige makofi ya mwisho, naona kuna kitu hapa. Hii ni gani?
Zawadi.
Naona nimepatiwa zawadi hapa, inaitwa Growing Business Enriching Lives. Yes. Thank you very much. Hebu nipigie makofi, hata mimi leo niko na kitu hapa. So thank you until next time. Mwelekezi wangu anaitwa Kamutia, kwa na wimbo anasema hata yeye apewe. Pole sana, hii ni yangu. Asante sana. God bless you. See you next time.